Hello YouTube, it's Birdo Prey 5 again, and it's another beautiful day in ice-cold New York City. Let us check if anyone is showing up. Darth was first. Hello, Darth. Darth, the most important question. Can you hear me? And number 2, is there an echo? And Vixen is here. She says the first that matters. And Darth says he can hear me perfectly and there's no echo. Excellent. That's what I want to hear. Derek says not first, but he can hear me. Thank you, Derek. Welcome. Welcome to another stream. I've decided that in light of this beautiful picture of the moon my sister took last night, I don't know if you guys know, but there was some big to-do about the moon. It was a super moon because it was one of the closest approaches it makes to Earth all year, which means it was just a tiny bit bigger than normal. Honestly, not perceivably bigger at all. But it was also a lunar eclipse. Later in the night, it turned red. Unfortunately, around here, the clouds blocked a lot of people from seeing it. But there were some great pictures from across the country. In fact, the world. So I had this theory that if some people can claim the world is flat, then surely there must be a theory that the moon is flat. Now I didn't look it up, but I will just I'll just assume I understand it, because let's face it, how hard could it be? Darth says the Earth flat, the moon makes its own cod light. Oh, is that how it works? Vixen says super moon to the rescue. Yes. Derek says, will Alexa be joining us this evening?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Sounds like she's here, Derek. Vixen wants her to order her a pizza. Alexa, order Vixen a pizza.
Sure. You can get groceries from Whole Foods with 2-hour delivery. Review my choices and quantities in the Prime Now app before checking out. I've added a choice for pizza to Joseph's Whole Foods cart. What else would you like from Whole Foods?
Cancel.
Review the items and quantities I've added to your cart in the Prime Now app.
No.
I just sent a link to your phone.
Oh, God. No, thank you. Sorry, Vixen. I don't think a Whole Foods pizza is exactly what you wanted. Darth says it's a bit fishy. Get it? Yes, cod. Vixen says, what's a cod light? I was gonna ask, but then I realized who I was asking. Vixen, yay. Derek, hooray for Alexa. Sorry. Hey there, Alexa. Good to hear from you. You have fans, Alexa.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, I'm sure. Alexa, tell us a joke.
Did you hear about the curious zombie? He'd like to pick your brain.
Okay, not a bad one. I had to be honest. Probably better than I could do off the cuff. So, yeah, Vixen's laughing. So my theory that the moon is flat is because of this. Right? We've never seen it round. Doesn't look round. I mean, it looks round, but doesn't look like a sphere. If it was a sphere, then you would think the part closest to us would look bigger, but it doesn't. It looks more like a paper plate in the sky. And the so-called far side of the moon, yeah, it could exist, but it's just the other side of the plate. You know, it probably has where it was made. It probably says, like, made in China on the background, and the far side of the moon, it probably says, you know, made by Rigel 7 out of, you know, space lead or something. Something toxic. It's probably why NASA knew not to go there. Yeah, even though they launched the rocket and spent all that money on fuel and trained astronauts, and we know that Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, and they all got out of the capsule when it landed back on Earth. It was clearly just a ruse. The original Saturn V took off. It actually landed just 8 miles off the coast of Los Angeles. The same day, they were hurried to a sound and stage studio where clearly they spent a couple of days setting up for the moon shots. Young George Lucas may have been involved. Not sure, but yeah, that was how we got the moon photos. And then they don't want us to know that the moon is flat, because if we know the moon is flat, we would know that the other planets are probably flat too. And while Earth isn't flat, we'd say, wait, how can every other celestial body be completely flat except the Earth? And then we'd all realize we were special, and we'd start to believe in religion, and government doesn't want that, right? Government doesn't want us believing in religion, because religion often goes against what government wants to do. So it was all a plot. All a plot to keep us from believing in religion. Because in fact, God created Earth. They left this part out of the Bible because they were running low on space. They figured, obviously, we don't need to say Earth is the only round planet he created, because, like, you know, it's going to be obvious once people get to space that, hey, everything else is flat. So we don't need to put this in Genesis. So the line was cut to save room. There were a lot of lines cut because they figured, this will just be self-explanatory. But nope, nobody thought ahead at the fact that the government was going to be so corrupt, and so that one little line cut from the Bible to save room. And if you think about it, I mean, that saved one extra page. Now think about that. One page times, like, what, 1 billion Bibles ever printed, probably, maybe more. I mean, that's literally the amount of trees in the rainforest. So you might say, oh, saving that line didn't do much, but multiply it by the billions of Bibles ever printed, and you can see why it was important to save it. Because had the Bible been even a sentence longer, all the trees on earth would have been destroyed to make paper to print Bibles. So, you make sense. God was trying to figure out, he's like, I'm pretty sure they're going to know that the earth is the only spherical planet. But I am giving them free will. So there's a small chance that they that they will reject my teachings because I'm leaving this line out. But he rolled the dice, he took the chance, and here we are. Vixen also said, how else would that man live on the moon? Right. And also, we know the moon is made of cheese. And cheese wheels like brie and cheddar and stuff and Swiss, they're flat. They're flat wheels. Right? Nobody makes a sphere. Well, mozzarella. Mozzarella comes in a sphere, but that's not mozzarella. I am Italian. I can tell you, that is not mozzarella. So yeah, most cheeses come in wheels, not spheres. So it all makes sense when you think about it. Vixen says something toxic. Does it involve Gillette? No, Vixen. Let's not make fun of this. Gillette is a company that only came into existence, 50, 100 years ago, long after the moon. They have nothing to do with it. Okay, we're trying to be serious. Anti-Ryan Johnson says, hello, Bird of Prey. Anti-Ryan Johnson, this picture behind me is a lot closer to your neighborhood than mine. Eliha Ellis, praise it, my brother. No dark side. Well, no, the dark side is an album. The Far Side exists, but it's not a sphere. It's just a flat plate on the back. Vixen says, hi, Anti-Ryan. And Elia says, is the sun flat? Of course it is. Of course it is. We can't see, for the same reasons the moon is flat. Everything in the universe is flat except the earth. Because that's the way God made it. Everything is flat except the earth and women. Because, man yearns for things that aren't flat. This is basic. This is biology 101. Derek says the Nazis have a moon base and Antarctic base too. Well, you see, here's the thing about the Nazis. By the time they made it to the moon, they had kind of given up the whole kill the Jews thing. I mean, they were still Nazis, but they weren't the evil Nazis we think of. They'd become a more mature, kind of PC Nazi. They embraced. Now remember, the Nazis were very against smoking. Okay, Hitler was a vegetarian. They are actually what we would call social justice warriors, are what the Nazis on the moon evolved into, and then they came back to Earth and they infiltrated our culture, and in a stroke of genius, because they had some of the smartest scientists in the world's brains networked into a computer on the moon, or in Antarctica, one of the places, maybe both. They said, we can take over by claiming to fight against Nazis. And it was a brilliant strategy, and it seems to be working. Vixen says the Earth is carried on the back of a turtle. It could be, but if it's a turtle, it's such a big turtle that we don't ever have to worry about it falling over on its back, because if it turns on its back, literally the entire cosmos turns with it. So it will never be one of those turtles that you might see stuck on its back and trying desperately to turn back over. And the nature photographers just record it, watch it struggle, because they are heartless bastards, and don't go over and save the poor goddamn turtle, because they're the true Nazis, nature photographers. Derek says that's true. I'm not sure what he's saying is true, but I'm sure he means all of it, which is fine. Vixen says they ran out of scrolls when they were writing the Bible. Well, they knew they had to conserve. God said a lot of stuff. A lot of it didn't make sense. Some of it, conflicted with other stuff. So they had to choose exactly what to write down. The unabridged Bible, if it had really been written down, would have been like 10 times as long. Let's face it, nobody would have read it. As it is, very few people bother reading it. I mean, if the Bible was like the complete volume of Encyclopedia Britannica, you had to like get a book every month for your entire life before you actually collected the whole thing, nobody would read it. So what we call the Bible is really the Reader's Digest, Cliff Note versions of the true Bible. Of course, the true Bible was never written down. It was only passed down through the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Knights Templar, and certain secret organizations that I have contacts with. So there's a lot of content in there, but it's better most of you don't know the truth. It's easier to live that way. The Reader's Digest has 10 commandments. Those are fine. They're close enough. Even a couple of them don't really matter anymore. I mean, false idols or things like that. Who cares? But the unabridged Bible, there's actually 1,113 commandments, and people would not be happy. People would not be happy. I'll give you one as a for instance. Thou shalt not finger paint. Would destroy an entire industry. millions of people would be out of jobs. The finger paint industry would collapse overnight if they knew God was against finger painting. But although it's a commandment, it's one of the commandments that have, some leeway. So if you're a good person overall, but you finger paint, don't worry. You still get in. You'll have to, might not get the penthouse view when you get to heaven. You're going to get more of a one bedroom, possibly, depending how bad you were. Possibly have to share a kitchen or something with your neighbor. But you know what? It's still heaven. You only need to go back there to sleep and to reproduce. Yes, there's reproduction. It's complicated. Forget I mentioned it. But you don't need to worry about that. As long as you get in, you're in. You're fine. Finger painting. If you're looking for the penthouse, you're not going to want to finger paint. You're not going to want to eat Hershey's Kisses. I know, Vixen. I know that's going to come as a shock to you, I'm sure. But listen, these are the things. Thou shalt not pet thy dog on Thursdays or the 14th of the month. I don't know why. I mean, I'm not one to argue with the big man, but apparently he felt that dogs should have one day where they didn't get petted. Maybe it makes them like the rest of the days of the week. Maybe it was for cleanliness at the time. I don't know. I don't pretend to know why. I just know these were the verses as they were told to me, as they had been told to my ancestors back thousands of years. Derek says the turtle swims the cosmos. Vixen says exactly, Derek. Derek says I believe 4 elephants are involved as well. Derek, you were thinking about the 4 elephants of the apocalypse. When the time comes, the 4 elephants will stomp their way across the earth, much like Harvey would destroy the universe. The elephants will be limited to just the earth. Of course, since the earth contains all the life in the universe, it's very similar to the same thing. But it is possible now, because the Bible was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin, and I think Aramaic, which nobody speaks, so. But the word for elephant and the word for Cthulhu in ancient Greek and Latin and Hebrew were very, very similar. So it's possible that they actually meant the 4 Cthulhus of the apocalypse. In which case, Harvey may well be foretold in the Bible. Just something to think about. Vixen says to True Derek. Elias says, "Are you trolling?" Elias, I am not a troll. Even my dog my dog's upset you called me a troll, Elias. Elias says, but a wheel has a back. Yes, it does. And I'm not saying the moon does not have a back. It has a far side. I mean, obviously, any mostly two-dimensional object has a back, but it's not a sphere. It's more like a dinner plate or a frisbee. Now, Mom sees that the garbage can has fallen over in the wind. I believe God is angry at me for talking about those commandments they left out of the Bible. I'm sorry. You gonna go out? Okay. I will keep talking, but I'm going to put on the... oh, I did not turn on the fish tank tonight. Let me turn that on. Oh, you sons of bitches. Okay, well, I guess we're not doing fish tonight. Actually, I guess we could. You know what? Let us put up... we'll put up some graph paper. And I'll put this up until I get the fish tank working. Which will take me just a minute. It'll give you plenty of time to go ahead and make lots of comments so I never catch up, which I know is what you guys all like to do. I don't understand this software. Every time I reboot the computer, I've got to put in my key code again, which gets annoying as heck. It didn't used to be like that. So, okay, I'm gonna show the web browser for a quick second. Okay, even better. No, I can't, because that's also the fish tank. Okay, we'll put it back on me. We'll put it back on me while I put in the fish tank, because obviously we don't need you guys seeing my key code, and I know I could trust you all, but yeah, I don't want my key code going around the internet. So okay, there we go. We got the fish tank up, and now Mom can walk behind me without worrying about getting on camera. Okay, so back to Derek. Derek says, read Darth's last comment. Darth's last comment. I do not see Darth's comment. Darth, it's a bit fishy. Get it? Yes, that was... I read that. Elias... and I lost the place. Elias says a wheel would spin in space. No, not if it's gravitationally locked. Vixen says, why don't the astronauts bring us back cheese? Because they'd have to actually get to the moon, Vixen. And I'm not sure they have. Derek says, STD is set in the Gillette timeline. An excellent, excellent quote, Derek. And I'm glad you brought it up, because when I saw it on the Discord, I laughed not out loud, but enough that I thought it was great to be brought up. Yes, STD is set in the Gillette timeline. Derek says the Earth is special. Indeed, it is. And Vixen says, I'm glad I'm not flat. Vixen, I have no proof of that, but I'll take your word. And I am glad that many women are not flat. Although some are. We'll be honest, some are. It doesn't mean that they're terrible or awful or anything. I'm not the flattest man, obviously. I'll be completely honest. But they're not required. They're not required to be an attractive woman. They're not required to be a good woman by any means. But, some of us men are just more attracted to it. It's just our biology. And, I'm not going to dwell on it. But, it would be stupid to pretend otherwise. Derek says ladies are special too. Vixen says derp. Okay. Derek says the Nazis found that their living space on the moon and in the Antarctic. Okay. Michael Jordan. Wow, Michael. I loved you on the Chicago Bulls. I know you probably get that all the time. Number 23 says, so you seriously believe the moon, the sun, and the earth is flat? No, Michael, you clearly did not hear me correctly. The earth is 100% most definitely round. I mean, we have satellites in orbit. You can fly from Australia to, the West Coast, the East Coast. You can even have your GPS on while you're in the airplane, confirming on the map that you're flying around the world in a circle. So, no, Michael Jordan. Only the biggest idiot of idiots would actually believe the earth is flat. In fact, I don't believe anyone with an IQ over 15 actually believes the earth is flat. There are a lot of trolls who try to claim it. They try to, they just want attention. And it seems like a lot of idiots are eager to give them attention by giving them some type of platform on which to spew their nonsense. I have zero time for flat earthers. If you are a flat earther, if you want to believe it, you can believe it. Nothing you ever say or do will convince me otherwise, because it is 100% impossible the earth is flat. I've flown too much around the globe to possibly believe the earth is flat. You would not be able to fly from New York due west, New York to San Francisco to Tokyo to Dubai to London and back to New York if the earth was flat. It would not be possible. Your GPS, your maps, they'd all be screwed up. So yes, 100% the earth is round. But the sun, the moon, they are flat. Vixen says the earth isn't flat, you idiot. Yeah, I'm not saying the earth is flat. Vixen said God had conflicting feelings towards us. Derek says, I twisted my left wrist yesterday. Hope it's better tomorrow. I am sorry to hear that, Derek. I also hope it is better tomorrow. Vixen says, wait. Knights Templar. Is Joe the real Indiana Jones? No, I'm sorry. I'm not. I would have stopped making movies after number 3 if I was. Derek says it's just nagging, not painful. I think I probably slept on it. Derek, yes, that is unfortunate. Vixen says, oopsie. Derek says, Joe is not the real Indiana Jones, but he knows him. Wink. Yes, that is true. Why, God, why can't we finger paint? Vixen, God has his reasons. It's like, why does he need a starship? Just, he does. Vixen says, this makes sense, Derek. That makes sense. Vixen says, when one soul loves another soul, they make a little baby soul. Indeed. Michael Jordan says, reproduction is complicated. Not on Earth, Michael. Mr. Jordan. I don't know what I should call you. Number 23. Not on Earth. But in heaven, yes. It's cosmic reproduction. It's not a point and shoot situation like it is on Earth. A little bit more complicated. Derek says finger paint. I'm sure DJ will be happy to help. Yes, I'm sure he will. You guys, I will be back in a second. Just watch the fish for right now. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Hope you didn't miss the moneymaker too long. Mic is on. All check. Good. Vixen yells, "No, my Hershey's Kisses. Why, God, why?" It's okay, Vixen. I put in a good word for you. You will get at least a loft. You will not be stuck sharing a room with a smelly person in heaven. They're all set. Vixen is lolling at Derek. Michael Jordan says he's got to be trolling. Fee. I don't know. This is a troll-free zone, Michael. Michael, do you think you would have beat Kobe Bryant at your best? Because I think Kobe doesn't believe so that. But I don't know. I'm not into basketball personally. Derek says extra commandment once a week. Darth will spell correctly. I hate to break it to Darth, but he did not make the Bible. I'm sorry. Anti-Ryan Johnson. I knew there was a reason I didn't like elephants. Yeah, just don't hold too much against them. It could be Cthulhu's that are the real problem. Vixen says to Michael Jordan, how dare you question Donbot? Derek says, Harvey, push the button, TM. Yes, you gotta do the double TM, as Harvey trademarked both. Always thinking ahead, that Harvey. Vixen is again laughing. He upset Sassy. Derek says, Lowell, let's summon Doomcock. Derek, if you had the power to summon Doomcock to this stream, I would be truly, truly impressed. But I think that might be a little beyond our abilities. Vixen says we need to say Doomcock 3 times in a mirror. Doomcock. Did he show up to anybody? He's not here. I should have said Harvey. Alexa, invite Doomcock to the stream.
Do you want to shop for Doomcock to the stream?
No.
All right.
Thank you anyway. Alexa, push the button.
I found something about Push the Button. Would you like to hear it?
Yes.
Push the Button is a song by English girl group The Sugar Babes, released as the lead single from their 4th studio album Taller in More Ways. Composed by Dallas Austin and The Sugar Babes, it was inspired by an infatuation that group member Keisha Buchanan developed with another artist. Musically, Push the Button is an electropop and R&B song with various computer effects.
Wow, thank you, Alexa.
You bet.
Look at how that. I had no idea. So now, could Harvey trademark the name of a song? Somebody's going to have to break the bad news to him. Not me. So you guys figure it out. Vixen says, oh my god, Derek is secretly Harvey Cthulhu. Derek says, we are your friends, Joe. We would not do that. Aw, thank you. I don't know exactly what. Thomas Potts. Hello, Thomas. Only, I don't know, 30 minutes late, maybe? Fashionably late for you, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. It's never the same without you. Even with Michael Jordan here, it's not quite the same. Vixen says hi to Thomas. Derek says, I have many Many forms, Lady Vixen? Ah, so he could be. He could be. Is Harvey really a shapeshifter? It is possible. Yay, fishes! Yes, yes, yes. What if there be nothing on Earth excepting my head and fishes? That was the original quote from King Lear, but again, they had to cut. They had to cut my head out to save time and save space. So, Anti-Ryan Johnson says, "Hi, Thomas. Michael Jordan, I believe he's trying to say lol, but says LPL. Michael, if I'm not up on the lingo, I apologize." Derek says, "Push the button again." Vixen is saying, uh-oh. And there's some more people saying hi to Thomas. They're telling Thomas to push the button. Did you guys not hear? In fact, I guess some of you didn't. I'm not gonna bring up the button tonight. Thomas Pod says pushes button. The flood is over. Derek says thank you, Thomas. Vixen says, hey, I was swimming. Derek says, I'm guessing 10 minutes behind at this point. That was at 7:05. It's 7:19. Closer to 15. Derek says, where are the usual suspects? Anti-Tracker and Darth, I'm talking to you. Darth was here, at least at the beginning. And Anti-Tracker probably doesn't have working internet. His stream this morning from the house he's staying at kind of failed. He had to go to his phone. And more than likely, he's busy helping Mrs. Anti-Tracker. As much as I'd like to see Anti-Tracker on a stream, I'm afraid that it might be a while before he gets back to one. I think he's going to need a better internet connection. Thomas Potts says the Earth is a cube. I don't know, Thomas. I've been on the planes and I did not feel that sensation of rounding a 90-degree corner, flying from place to place. Vixen says, I wasn't saying you are an idiot, bird. Just the guy who thinks Earth is flat. Oh no, I didn't think you meant I was an idiot. DJ Odyssey says, I'm here. So okay, I guess 7 p.m. Eastern was when he got off work. Welcome, DJ Odyssey. Vixen says, Darth probably went to bed. Yeah, it happens. DJ Odyssey says, here, fishy, fishy. Vixen says, those fish better not poop. That is one of the best things about digital fishes. No poop. It's probably why Anti-Tracker doesn't like them. DJ Odyssey says they did, and that he'd be right back himself. Ew, okay, says Vixen. Derek says, welcome, DJ, we've been waiting for you. Vixen says, yay, bird is back. Derek says, has your chin recovered, DJ? Captain Redneck wants to know. Yeah, DJ, that was a weird picture. Bean dust? Okay. Can't say I've heard of it. Derek says, epic stream / piss. Okay, Derek, if you had one, that's fine. DJ Odyssey says, I better leave. People say I'm a troll. DJ, you're perfectly welcome to troll in the comments. It's just I'm not a troll. The screen here is a troll free zone. Out there's trolls. There's trolls. There's fairies. There's leprechauns. There's cyborg robots. There's all types of weird things out there. But here is me. Alex Brooks says, hi, Bird. Hello, Alex. Welcome. Qapla. Derek says, nah, stay. You are not a troll. Vixen says, DJ Odyssey, how dare they? DJ Odyssey says, okay, I was scrolling back. What's up with the finger paints? DJ, thou shalt not finger paint was one of the commandments that had to be cut from the Bible to save space. There were originally 1,113 commandments, many of them extraneous, and so they cut it down to 10. And let's face it, even today we could probably cut it down to 7 or 8 without any major impact on Western civilization. So yeah, that's just where we started to where we're at. As time goes on, we lose commandments. DJ Odyssey says, who needs Doomcock when you got the pink bunny? Yeah, I use Energizer batteries too. I know you can't tell. This is a flashlight. If I put it on at the camera, it might induce a headache in somebody, so we won't do that. But there's an Energizer battery in that. Vixen says to DJ Odyssey, you missed Bible study. Yeah. Hello, Resolute Germ. Welcome to the stream. Oh, we've got a group of 12 right now. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Yes, what did he miss? Oh, you missed a lot, Resolute. I'm sure people have filled you in. Vixen says the mirror isn't working. Well, it worked for me. The side facing you was the larger mirror, the zoom lens, the magnifying side. So yeah, which is just as well, because I don't need you seeing exactly what's on my screen. Vixen says, hi, Germ. DJ Odyssey says, I'm not sure, just got here myself. Vixen is laughing. Derek says, challenge accepted, Birdo Prey 5. I will summon Doomcock to one of your streams in the future. In the future. Leaves himself an out. Because if he doesn't do it by, a year from now, he could still say, well, I just said in the future. Very well. Very good thinking, Derek. Derek says, I was in the Royal Navy. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, sounds like you probably could, Derek. Her Majesty's Navy, correct? Or at least it's Her Majesty's ship that you'd be on, from what I'm told. Derek says, hey there, Resolute. So, Derek, I know English British ships are HMS. For when there's a queen, it's Her Majesty's ship. And when there's a king, it's His Majesty's ship. Which is all well and good. But what if one day you had a monarch who, for some reason, did not conform or did not believe themselves to be a man or a woman and preferred a different set of pronouns, right? Because there's Z's and X's, Zins and Zens, and all different Z's, all different words to replace he, she, him, and her. So let's say you had a king or a queen or something like a king who's half king, half queen, and prefers the pronoun Zim, Xim, instead of him or her. Would the Royal Navy repaint all their ships from HMS to XMS? Just curious. Thomas Potts says, I didn't notice you went live. It's okay, Thomas. It's okay. Resolute Germ says, that makes a lot of sense, Vixen. Both are world devastating. Lol. DJ Odyssey says, pushes the button over and over and over. Vixen says, it's my button they are talking about. Wow. DJ says, perk. Alex Brooks says, have you ever driven... No, not gonna get me, Alex. Almost. Good try. Good try. Although she is behaving well tonight. Okay, Alex Brooks asks, have I ever driven a Lexus? I said it fast enough. She didn't come on. DJ Odyssey says, so, should I do the live stream tonight? Well, if you want to do it after me or during me, yeah, go ahead. Vixen says, yeah, she's also trying to get me. She says, Alexis is a good car. Not you, Alexa. Thomas Potts says, did you know that when you use gravel for a road on city skylines, the bridges are covered? Yes, I did notice that. They make like wooden covered bridges like you would find in Maine or Vermont. Maybe Vixen knows a nice wooden covered bridge. A romantic place. The old bridge. Vixen says to DJ Odyssey, do you mean now? Resolute Germ says Lexus is an expensive car, Vixen, not a good car. DJ Odyssey says not right now, later, lol. Vixen says Resolute Germ, I'm talking about a Lexus. Derek says it's late for me. Time to get the head down. I'll see you later. Good night, Derek. I guess you won't hear my question about the Royal Navy. DJ Odyssey says soybeans are very dirty. You have to wear a mask. The dust still goes through the mask. And end up with my face looked like from that pic. Wow, DJ. Like maybe we should stop making soybeans. Corn is much cleaner. Derek says, I'll listen in bed until I fall asleep. Okay, Derek, I will I'll try to put you to sleep. 1 sheep. 2 sheep. 3 sheep. 4 sheep. 5 sheep. 6 sheep. 7 sheep. 8 sheep. 9 sheep. 10 sheep. Let's hope he is asleep, because I'm done counting sheep. Vixen says to Derek, nighty night. DJ Odyssey also says night. Everybody's saying good night because you're all such wonderful, friendly people. DJ Odyssey says, but I like to finger paint using body paints. DJ Odyssey, now you're breaking like 3 commandments. Derek says good night to everyone. Again, Thomas Potts says there were 15 commandments. Moses tripped and broke 1 tablet. Yeah, well, those are just the ones they had agreed to put in. There was a lot more before the start of the negotiation. There's a whole part they left out of the Bible. The burning bush was just like the signing of the Constitution. You're forgetting about the entire Continental Congress that went into deciding what the Constitution was going to be. Whole big part of religious history that's skipped over. Just too complicated and boring for the masses. DJ says, yeah, saw it in the History of the World Part 1. Mr. Miles says, Duracells eat Energizer. Not from where I'm sitting. And hello, Mr. Miles. Welcome to the chat. Vixen, everybody saying hello to Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles says, I see Bird of Prey still hasn't fixed the hollow emitters. Yeah. The hollow emitters, it's going to be a while. It needs more than a diagnostic. It needs an entire overhaul. So, but you know what? We live with what we got. DJ says, you're the chief engineer. You're supposed to fix it. Oh, I would not let Mr. Miles near my hollow emitters, chief engineer or not. Vixen says, that's your job. Alex Brooks, every time I read his name, I want to read it as Avery Brooks, because I think Captain Cisco is in my chat. And how awesome would that be for Avery Brooks to be chatting with me? So, don't be disappointed, Alex, if I look a little disappointed every time I read your name, because you just get my hopes up just a little bit. Alex says, do you have any snow in New York, Bird? No. Actually, I live in northern Queens. We were very lucky. Up until the day of, even the day before, and even of the day of, they were predicting up to 5 inches in this particular area. And then once it actually came together, we got transferred to just rain. And it rained, and we got a ton of wind. Then temperatures, it went down to 5 degrees Fahrenheit. It's again super cold tonight. It never went above 10 degrees Fahrenheit today. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Right now, it's 12 degrees. Tonight, expect a low of 11 degrees.
Okay, so she made a liar out of me. Never got above 12 degrees, and it's going down to 11 tonight. By morning, it should get a bit warmer, and we should be in the 20s again tomorrow. So that will be good because at this temperature we are. Sorry, Alexa had yet to shut off. At this temperature, we are seriously worried about pipes freezing. We've got cabinet doors open. We've got extra heat on because we have had issue where the water pipe coming into my house, in fact, it was the water meter actually froze and broke. And on the coldest day of a couple years ago, water started shooting out. My mother was down there trying to see what was going on, and she was getting covered in water. She was screaming up to me. I was freaked out. I didn't know what was happening. I heard her yell, "Call the fire department." I didn't know what was going on. I called the fire department. I was like, I don't know. My mother's in the garage. She's just yelling, "Call the fire department." I can't get down there. I can't see what's going on because, of course, I can't walk. So they sent the fire department. Luckily, it wasn't a fire. It was that she couldn't turn the water main off, but she did manage. Oh, right. Okay. So the water was shooting out, and we had an electric space heater like right behind Mom, and Mom didn't want to move because if she moved, the water would have hit the electric space heater, and Mom was afraid it would cause a fire or electrocute her, and God knows what, and who knows what might have happened. So Mom actually kept herself between the squirting water and the electric heater, despite the fact it was many, many degrees below freezing, and this stream of ice cold water was like waterboarding her in our own garage. And I was freaking out because I didn't know what was going on. But luckily, she did manage to get the water off, like literally a second before the fire department pulled up. And they were happy enough to respond that there wasn't a fire. So they were great guys. But we never had that problem before. We had to call the city and get a new water meter, and I thought this was going to take forever. But surprisingly, they were pretty efficient about it. What was it, the next day or something? Yeah, literally the next day. They came with a new water meter. They put it in free of charge. They said, listen, you get this one for free, but you've got to do something to insulate these pipes, because if you don't do anything, they will charge next time it happens. So we got a bunch of insulation and we put it around the pipes. But besides the risk of being charged, much more annoying would be the risk of the pipes freezing and leaving us without water for a day or more. Not to mention the damage it would cause in the garage or elsewhere in the house. So yeah, we gotta worry about frozen pipes when it gets to these single-digit temperatures. DJ Odyssey says, wait 20 minutes for the response, lol. Yeah, it was 7:22. It was 7:42. It was 20 minutes, yep. Vixen says, Her Majesty, H-I-R. DJ Odyssey says, it's Majesty? Magistry? Alex says, I tried, lol. Vixen's laughing. Vixen says, I got her. DJ says, don't worry, I will only say Calypso. Yep, and she started. She turned on. Calypso. Now she didn't. Calypso. Why do you answer to Calypso?
Sorry, I don't know that.
Yeah. Vixen says, yeah, we have covered bridges here. We used to jump off one into the river during the summer. That sounds like such a country thing to do. Were there leeches, Vixen? Derek says, Bird of Prey 5, Her Majesty's Grey War canoes have had their name added in metal on their stern. They don't change in fashion. It's a 1,000-year tradition. Interesting. DJ says, I don't make the soybeans, the boss does, and he does corn too, but keep the land fertile, and you have to rotate your crops and not keep growing the same thing over and over. I hear ya, DJ. The life of a farmer. Vixen says he's not doing he's not doing the Count's accent. DJ Assey says, yeah, well, commandments are made to be broken. That was actually the 1114th commandment, but even that one got stripped before the official 1113 were agreed upon. Satan slipped that in there as a joke. Almost got passed. Gabriel was not doing his job. He fell asleep reading through the commandments. Luckily, Michael picked up the slack. Really would have been an embarrassment to let that one slip in. Resolute Germ says 3 down, 7 to go. Oh, and commandments broken? Okay. DJ Odyssey says, oh well, lol. Can't go to hell either. They have a restraining order against me. Vixen says, I let you guys push my button, so now I'm not getting in either. DJ Odyssey says, I will just walk the earth as a ghost pushing buttons. Resolute Germ says, that's okay, Vixen. It's pretty boring, full of Mormons. Vixen is laughing. Alex, not Avery Brooks, says, what if Burnham and Wesley Crusher had a kid? Well, she would be the most perfect baby ever, and the Traveler would probably come to take her on a cosmic journey, but she would actually teach the Traveler a faster way to travel. She's like, I can get us to the edge of the universe 0.2 seconds quicker than you, and she would. Alex Brooks says, no worries, Cisco was epic. Yes, he was. A toast to when captains were captains. DJ Odyssey says, if they had a kid, it would be named Lore. Vixen says, Alex Brooks, I would kill it. You're not going to kill a baby, Vixen. Resolute Germ says, Alex, that would be That would make the track Antichrist. Thomas Potts says, so will they rename Queens, New York, when Elizabeth dies? No, Thomas. Queens is not named after Queen Elizabeth. In fact, Brooklyn is Kings County, and Queens is Queens County. Why Brooklyn got called Brooklyn instead of Kings, it's a long story. Not up for it tonight, but yes, there's a story. Vixen says it's below 0 here. Sounds like it's cold outside. Baby, it's cold outside. Yeah, don't go outside, Vixen. Avery Brooks is laughing at Vixen because it's so cold where she is. No, I know he's laughing at her joke. DJ Odyssey says it was -7 when I went to work. Night Breeze, hello Night Breeze. And he says hi to Vixen first. I don't blame you, Night Breeze. I would too. Night Breeze then says hello to me and everyone else. Vixen says hi to Night. And they all are saying hello. Vixen says it's -5 Fahrenheit by her. Night Breeze, you need to curl up with a warm blanket to Vixen. Vixen says, I don't get it. Resolute Germ says, you guys are making me thankful for mild Seattle temperatures. Darth Raven is back. Not that he ever said he left. But who has 2 thumbs and is back? Oh, there we go. I am. So he is back. DJ Odyssey says me. Vixen says, Night Breeze, I'm under my comforter. Don't worry. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Darth says, DJ Odyssey, no berry man, you have paws, not hands, you silly bunny. Oh, yes, no bunny man. Sorry. DJ Odyssey has paws, not hands. Vixen says, oh no, it's Darth. Nightbreeze says, he's not a bunny, he's Piglet. Does Piglet have hands or like hooves? DJ Odyssey says, yes. Okay, he admits he's Piglet. Mark it down. It is January 21st. It was at 7:43 p.m. Eastern. DJ Odyssey admits to being Piglet. You heard it here first, folks. Vixen says, I'm a country girl, shrugs. No leeches, silly. I don't know, I'm just asking. Vixen says, DJ Odyssey, Piglet. Nightbreeze says, Vixen, Vava Voom. Nothing wrong with country girls. Certainly not, Nightbreeze. Darth says to me, my great-grandpa's house pipes exploded in the winter of 45. My gran said the wall literally came apart and must have been some explosion. They was poor as fook. Yes, very, very sad. The winter of 45. That would have been, what, during the war? Right after? I'm sure they were just so happy the war was over that it didn't even matter the pipe broke. It wasn't a Nazi bomb, so yeah. Vixen says, Night Breeze, damn right. DJ Odyssey says, Bird, say this. A very thinly attempted A very thinly veiled attempt to trick me, but okay, let's try it. Alexo. Yep, it worked.
I don't know that.
You don't know much, Alexo. Darth says, Bird of Prey 5, there's an old Irish ghost legend here. Alexa. Yes, yes. Vixen is laughing. He has McDonald's, no fair. DJ Odyssey says, I have homemade chili. Vixen says, okay, I will wait until it's a teenager, then kill it. Okay, that is much, much more civilized, Vixen. No killing babies, wait till they're teenagers. Vixen is asking DJ Odyssey what is in the chili. Vixen, you need to know you should never ask what's in chili. You will never be happy with the answer. DJ Odyssey says, was supposed to play D&D, but fell through tonight. So I got all this chili for myself. Oh, I'm sorry about that, DJ Odyssey. Well, it's got beans, lol. Meat, a few light peppers. Oh, you lost me at the peppers, DJ. Nightbreeze says, probably a good thing, DJ Odyssey. Wouldn't want to gas the others. Darth Raven says to me, and is this going to be another attempt to activate you-know-who? In Ireland, there's a town called Cork, called Cove, spelled Cove. And when we were part of the UK, it was called Queen's County, and Kerry, King's County. And when we became independent, we changed the names back. Well, good for you. Resolute Germ says, did try it with some sour cream and tequila. What kind of meat? Yeah, that was the question you don't want to ask. DJ Odyssey says bunny meat. No, he says cow. I said bunny meat, and I could hear Mom sighing in disgust. No, it's cow. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Vixen says, oh, phew, I got to the bottom of that. DJ says, no, I said yes to you saying calypso. Now, if I say it slow, it doesn't work. Vixen says, I was worried that it was a person. You saw that South Park episode, Vixen. It was Scott Peterson's parents. DJ Odyssey says, no, I don't use Soylent Green, Vixen. Nightbreeze says, Vixen, Soylent Green is still illegal. A lot of states are making it, not criminalizing it as much. Vixen says, Nightbreeze, you never know. That is true. We know DJ Odyssey already has a secret farm from which he grows a plant that has medicinal purposes, but he won't tell us, which is good. He doesn't want to get raided by the FBI. Resolute Germ says there's only one cannibal in here, and it's not DJ. Uh-oh. That begs the question, Resolute. But it's a question I know better than to ask. Darth says, Bird of Prey 5, Ireland was not in the war. That's true. We were neutral in the face of Nazis. Neutral Ireland was isolationist since 1938. refused any outside help, and we were dirt poor. Yes. I did think about it after I said that. It's true, Ireland was not in the war. I'm curious, did you think the Nazis would stop had they taken England, Wales, and Scotland, and I assume what is now Northern Ireland? I don't know. Always curious about that. Vixen says, I want chili. Darth says, DJ Odyssey, why don't you and Nightbreeze play Hide the Sausage? Oh my god. DJ Odyssey says, I'm not playing that game with Nightbreeze anywhere around me. Vixen is laughing. Darth says, DJ, it's a fine once you don't cross swords. Mr. Miles says, Alexa, who is Calypso?
Calypso was a nymph in Greek mythology who lived on the island of Ogygia, where, according to the Odyssey, she detained Odysseus for 7 years.
Ask a simple question, get a simple answer. DJ Odyssey says, I do not grow that. Sure you don't, DJ. I get it. You don't grow it. Neither do I, and neither does the Mafia. There's no Mafia, and we are not interested in buying any of that stuff you don't grow. So, yes. We're all good here. Darth says, Mr. Miles, Chief Engineer, you are. DJ Odyssey says, you grow Pineapple Express. Vixen says, but Donbot will protect us from the feds. It depends on which feds, Vixen. DJ says, damn, if I wanted to get picked on this much, I would have stayed in my own Discord. Laughing. Vixen says, DJ. Yes, DJ Odyssey does have, I have to say, the best voice chat Discord of any of the people I've been to, be it Anti-Tracker, Doomcock, or anyone else for that matter. DJ, why don't you go ahead and if you're interested, DJ, go ahead and put that link in to your Discord if anyone else wants to hang out there. You might get lucky and hear some of us talking. Although I kind of prefer it when it's just me and Vixen. But, you know, I understand. I can't be jealous. I can't keep Vixen to myself. I've got to share. Darth says to me, they had plans to wipe out the Irish people if they took out the UK like they did with the Jews, but to a more perfect state since we're all on an island, thank God. Thank God they lost. My great-grandfather fought against the Nazis, and they faced ridicule for wearing British colors. It sounds like your great-grandfather was a true hero, Darth. Vixen says, Alexa is in possession of a mythological nymph.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
We've been hearing that a lot from you tonight. DJ Odyssey says, I think they all know it already, lol. Darth says, since they were both rebels and one was related to Michael Collins, our country's founder, yes, the Michael Collins. not to be confused with the Michael Collins, who was the third member of Apollo 11, along with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. Michael Collins was the guy who did not get to land on the moon. He had to stay in orbit, waiting in the capsule for the lander to come back and then hook up. And then they all went back to Earth. All three of them, if you believe the official NASA, the official NASA documents. DJ Odyssey said, should I make up private Vixen and Bird room? It would be up to Vixen. She seems enthusiastic. Resolute Germ says, so Irish hate the English more than they do the Nazis. Yeah, it would seem that way. Or at least the Irish hate the British. Yes, Irish hate the English. Yes, that is what you said. Oh. Mr. Miles says, interesting, she knows she isn't Calypso. Yes. Michael Collins was the only person living or dead who took the picture of Earth during their mission. A very interesting piece of trivia, Darth. DJ Odyssey says, already made, lol. But Darth, didn't they take a picture of the Earth from the surface of the moon? And if it was taken from the surface, it couldn't have been taken by Michael Collins. Unless it wasn't taken on Apollo 11. Maybe it was taken on a later Apollo flight. Mr. Miles says, we never went to the moon. The Earth is flat. 911, 9/11 was an inside job. And mole people are real. Mr. Miles has gone off the deep end. DJ says, you know you are ugly one in a photo when they hand you the camera. Darth says, no, they took it in orbit. Vixen says to Mr. Miles, are you okay, buddy? No, Vixen, Mr. Miles is not okay. If you didn't know that already, he's never okay. Thomas Bott says, Apollo 11 was replaced by alien replicas from beyond the moon. I can't prove you wrong, Thomas. Mr. Miles agrees he's never been okay. I hope drinking water wasn't some type of YouTube faux pas, whatever it is. Mr. Miles then says he's okay though. Oh, okay. TJ Odyssey says, Bird Prey, it's not really okay because he gave Mr. Miles a wrench. DJ says, Bird Prey is really not okay because he gave Mr. Miles a wrench. DJ, sometimes I like a little unpredictability, and that is why I do things like that sometimes. Darth says to me, 9/11 was caused by mole people who were working for the CIA and who were hiding the secret of the flat Earth. And they were reptiles. Vixen says, how dare you drink water in front of us? I am so offended. Ah, yes, like that race on Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise, who was totally offended by the fact that they consumed food in front of them. And to that race, consuming food was like going to the bathroom or having sex. It was something that needed to be done in private. And eating in front of them caused awful amount of offense. And if I remember right, that was the episode where Porthos got sick and was in the doctor's, like, I don't know, fluid cylinder thing with bubbles coming out of its mouth while he was working on him. And luckily Porthos was okay, because Captain Archer said that if anything happened to Porthos, he was basically going to start an interstellar war with this species. And I would have stood by him. No alien civilization gets to kill Captain Archer's dog and get away with it. Right, Sassy? She says yes. Mr. Miles says, sounds like I need to ban DJ. DJ says, I dare ya. I don't know, Mr. Miles. DJ kinda has the most happening Discord around. If you ban him, he could ban me. Then I'd get pissed and I'd ban you. And there'd be nothing left on Earth excepting fishes. If you build me a statue, DJ, I'll let it go. A statue from gold. Oh, he won't even take a statue built out of leftover soybeans. He wants gold. He wants the gold. Give him the gold. Darth says Thomas Potts thought that was Collins. DJ Odyssey says build a statue of gold of himself. Bwahahaha. Vixen is laughing. Mr. Miles says, as long as you give it to me, I'll let that pass. He just wants the gold. He doesn't care what the statue looks like. He's going to melt it down anyway. Darth says to me, in St. Patrick's Day, will you will you dress as a leprechaun? Dressing as a leprechaun. St. Patrick's Day is what, March something? No, I doubt I would be dressing as a leprechaun. I may wear something green. Valentine's Day, I will try to do a stream. We might do a stream for anyone who's not heading out on a hot date that night, since it's unlikely I will be. Yeah, if you don't have Valentine's Day plans, you can plan for that. That's the only special live stream I have planned right now. I do have another one that I've got the stuff for. Not as intricate by any means as Santa Claus was, but we'll do that at some point too. Probably sooner than later. Nightbreeze says to Mr. Miles, DJ Odyssey will make you a brown statue. Mr. Miles says, I am a merciful wrench. DJ Odyssey melts it down and gives it to himself. Oh boy. Vixen says, poor Porthos. Thomas Potts says, the Earthrise. The Earthrise was taken by William Anders. Darth Raven says to me, oh, that's the episode where he's placed the sacred wood on the floor, doing that stupid dance. to appease the anti-food aliens. Yeah, something like that. Vixen says the Great Ban Wars of 2019. That's exactly how World War I started. Mr. Miles says, lol, Bird of Prey 5 has me figured out. Yeah. DJ Odyssey says, build Mr. Miles a statue of the bunny out of copper. Vixen says, AKA everyone here. What? Darth says to me, if I was captain in the Fed, I would tell those aliens I have 8 quantum torpedoes and 7 photonic torpedoes aimed at their major cities, and I was ready to fire your move, Chuckles. I'm here to fire photon torpedoes and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. Actually, I'm not. I've got a lot of bubblegum. Like a surprisingly large amount. But they don't have to know. Resolute Germ says, just don't dress as Cupid, Bird. No, don't worry. I will not dress as Cupid. Vixen says, we can date each other in chat. Oh, Vixen. Wait. Are we exclusive, or is this kind of an open relationship? I just, I need to know, just in case. Vixen says, Resolute Germ, why not? Darth erases a message. DJ Odyssey says, keep talking, I'm just gonna listen. Vixen says, DJ Odyssey, what's wrong? Darth Raven says, Irish national color is blue, not green, and we don't wear green colors, just the drunks and tourists. American Irish wear green, Darth. That's all I need to know. Darth says, are you addicted to bubblegum? No, Darth, I'm not, but after my sister got me a pack of gum for Christmas. Yes, a pack of gum for Christmas. I realized I quite enjoyed it, and I missed it. I hadn't had grape bubblicious bubblegum in quite a while. So the stores around here did not sell grape bubblicious, so I had to order it on Amazon, and the cheapest one they had was like a pack of 18, I think, for like $18, which was $1 a pack, which was a fair price. So I ordered the case of bubblegum. So now I've got 17 packs of the 18 packs left. Dibs, my cousin. Hello, Joe. He says, hi, Joe. Cold enough for you? How are you? I'm doing good, Dibs. I'm doing good. How are you guys holding up with this? We've got the cabinet doors open. We've got the heat turned up an extra degree to make sure the pipes don't freeze. Resolute Germ says, why not Darth would not help cover the drunken vomit. Vixen says, if you want to be exclusive, then yes. Oh boy. Oh boy. So many decisions. Darth says to me, you're Italian American. You shouldn't throw pasta and spaghetti at passing people. You should throw spaghetti and pasta and spaghetti. Well, that's like, spaghetti is a form of pasta, but okay. Pasta and spaghetti at passing people, having fun, shouting in Italian with a goat beside you. That's what we do on Columbus Day, Darth. That is the spirit of Columbus Day. Vixen says, first date on Valentine's. Ooh, boy. Darth says, oh, we could talk about some dates tonight. We could do that. Old dates. Darth says, oh, St. Patrick's Day. On St. Patrick's Day. You want me to throw spaghetti on St. Patrick's Day? That would be like racist or something. DJ Odyssey says, night. You calling it a night, DJ Odyssey? Dibs, my cousin says, doing good. Not a lot of great insulation in the house. Have to keep heat high and socks on. Yes, similar here, Dibs. You know when you'll be streaming? I saw your pictures of your setup there. Anxiously waiting. Dibs is going to start streaming some video games soon. If anyone is interested, you could join and subscribe his channel now. I guess you could get in on the ground floor, unless he's going to be streaming under a different name. Night Breeze says, have a good night, DJ Odyssey. Darth says, I thought you killed any Native American on Columbus Day. Darth, that is a dirty lie. We do not kill any Native American on Columbus Day. We only kill one. There's not enough to kill them all. We'd run out of Native Americans. No, I'm kidding. See, you people, you make these, you line them up, and I have to take the shot, and then I'm going to get in trouble one day for making a joke that you guys just perfectly set up for me. Captain Redneck says, howdy y'all. Howdy, Captain. Captain Redneck is on the bridge. I don't know why I've got to say it, Captain. Something about, I guess I must have that obsessive compulsive disorder. Captain Redneck says, you're evil, Vixen. Hey, Captain, you watch what you say to Vixen. Vixen says, I didn't mean to. Uh-oh. Darth says, just sub to you, Dibs. Cool, Darth, thank you. Captain Redneck says, it's okay, you're only female. Oh, boy. Resolute Germ says, that's okay, Vixen. DJ understands women can't resist the allure of the dawn. Yes, like the power that comes with it, it becomes irresistible. All those women throwing themselves at Tony Soprano, a overweight, balding, older man that by any logic would not be doing well in the dating pool, but had no shortage of attractive young ladies that wanted a piece of him because of the patriarchy. The patriarchy. Gotta love that patriarchy. Darth says, on Valentine's Day, you call it the lonely stream. I'm thinking of calling it Here's to the Losers, Darth. And I don't know, the Sinatra song of the same title may make an appearance. Vixen, what's your take on Frank Sinatra on a scale of 1 to 10? How much do you like Frank Sinatra songs? Captain Redneck says, how can one watch what they say? It's a phrase, Captain. That's a phrase. I don't know. Dibs says, I'll be streaming on Twitch live and posting to YouTube. Fun coming soon. Thanks for promotion. Bird, did you ever hear of Fiverr? Yes. Yes, Dibs, I've heard of Fiverr. I've used Fiverr. I've used Fiverr a number of times, in fact. In the last few years, they've grown a lot bigger. When I used it, things literally used to be $5 and only $5. And only after buying something for $5 could you then like buy add-ons that cost more than $5. But now you go on Fiverr and I see prices all over the place. So it's like, what's the point? But yes, Fiverr is a pretty good website where you can find lots of things supposedly for only $5. But these days, people find ways of increasing the price. Darth says to me, overweight Italian American balding sounds like you. Darth, yes, it kind of does, though I think he was older than me. Vixen says, love is not logical. This is true. I once wrote that love and logic were like matter and antimatter. They annihilate each other. If you ever tried to mix love and logic, you would end up with just a giant explosion. They must be kept separate at all times. Captain Redneck says, correct, Vixen, it is not. Night Breeze says, maybe the Lonely Hearts Club stream. Maybe it'll be DJ's Bunny's Pink Bunny stream. Captain Redneck says, Sinatra is a solid 14. That's life. That's what all the people say. Yeah, Captain, I'd give him a solid 14 out of 10. You're okay. I don't care what they say, Captain Redneck. You're okay in my book. Dib says, do you have any specific artists you recommend? No, I don't use them for artists. Sorry. You know what, Dibs? There's a guy on Twitter. And if you see this Bird of Prey 5, my head in the Futurama style jar, the guy who did that is on Twitter. His name is Alex Designs. ALEX Designs. DESIGNS. Alex Designs. I believe that's it. And he does great work. You might want to send him a tweet or something, see if, I don't know what you're looking for. He's actually in Uruguay, but he does great work, and you might want to say that, you heard from me, that you'd done it for me, and I sent you to him. See if he interested or not. I don't know. I can't promise. I don't know how busy he is, but he does some pretty good artwork. If you're looking for channel artwork, he would be my recommendation. There's also a guy on YouTube called Drawing for the number 4, Drawing for the Fun of It. He does a lot of custom artwork too. You could try and get in contact with him. They're both top-notch artists, so they would be my recommendations. Darth says to me, Get this get this hat and wear it on St. Patrick's Day to show your Italian pride. Uh-oh. And he gives me a link to it's a pizza hat. Funny hats, food hats, pizza, hamburg, hot dog, costume party, dress up, chef hat. Huh. Well, okay. I guess we could put that on the screen. Oh yes, DJ Odyssey might recognize this website. I was at it earlier. Yeah. Yeah, DJ. I don't think this hat would be for me exactly, but you know, I appreciate the link. Realistic toppings. Wow. They're pointing to a white dot. They're pointing to a white dot on oh, sorry. I mean, this toppings have red circles, white and black lines, and like, I don't know, they look like pieces of construction paper glued to felt, and a white dot as realistic pizza toppings. Wow. Okay. And there's a ruler to show how big it is. Fun party hats. Funny party hats. Yeah, I don't see how funny this one would be, to be completely honest. I guess I'm missing something. Oh, and here's the package of 3. Pizza, a hamburger perhaps with no meat. I don't know what the hell that is. And the most disgusting looking hot dog I've ever seen. If the hot dog is that color, do not eat it. Something went wrong. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know where you get this stuff from, DJ, but Vixen says, I haven't had a lot of exposure to Sinatra, so Bird will have to teach me. Okay, Vixen, that's an acceptable answer. Darth says, can Vulcans love? Well, in canon, they would seem to. I'm even talking just TNG, TOS, movie canon. I'm pretty sure Sarek said that he did love his wife. Certainly in STD, but in Real Track, yes, I believe they can. Plus, there's the whole hollow novel Vulcan Love Slave, so you know, I think it is possible. Dibs says, maybe that's how the word was created, Joe. Love and logic, low. The world was created, I assume. Yeah, it could be. Vixen says, of course, but I'm only half Vulcan. Vixen says, lol, Big Bang Theory, not the show. Redneck says, I'm okay, just okay. Damn, he's a tough critic. Okay, Captain. You're more than okay in my book. Dibs says, I'll check him out. Thanks, Bird. Speaking of someone in Germany now who looks like he does good intro YouTube videos with logo design, but I will still check Alex out. Yeah. Good luck. And I wouldn't worry too much about the logo and stuff at first, Dibs. Get the content out first. Worry about the logo later. Captain Redneck confirms drawing for the fun of it is a good man. Definitely. Vixen says it's a pizza pie. Ah. Yes, it's a pizza pie. Dibs says Captain Redneck, thanks. We'll check him out too. Vixen says the white could be cheese. Yeah, I would assume it was. Or a very naughty pizza maker. Captain Redneck says, I did the voiceover for Drawing's first Disney video. It was fun to do. That's right. Captain Redneck says, the white on the pizza is a zit. Pop it. Oh, so nasty, Captain. Dibs says, that's a shitty looking pizza. Domino's workers can get drunk and still make a better looking pizza than the job. Yes, that is true. Vixen is laughing. Captain Redneck is also lolling. You got them all laughing, Dibs. Vixen, though, be careful. He is already married. He's taken. Thomas Potts says, you should be wearing a jacket, Birdo Prey 5. It's cold outside, and you're on the roof. Well, you know what they say. The roof is on fire. So, it balances out. John Archiki. Oh, John! You paid me to sing a song. Bird needs a bow tie that can spin on command. Yes, that would be terrific. Vixen says to John, yes. Captain Redneck says true. Captain Redneck curtsies. Vixen says also Vulcans don't need to be taught empathy. Stupid STD. Absolutely, Vixen. Captain Redneck is correct. Captain Redneck says, be careful, Vixen. I'm taken. Ah, okay. Who's already married? Dibs, Vixen. Dibs is my cousin. I don't know if you know that. But Dibs, he's married. Proud new father, in fact. Captain Redneck says, I am Vix. Oh, Captain Redneck is married too. Okay, Captain. To be honest, I didn't know, but I didn't ask. So, good to know. So, John, do you want me to sing? I still have it up here. Love Song by The Cure. I'll be honest, I listened to it once. Okay, I'm going to... You going out? Okay, I'm going to the fishes. So, you're not... Oh, not that way? Okay, never mind. Well, welcome back. Okay. So, John, do you want me to do Love Song tonight? Because then you said at one point, hold it off for Valentine's Day, which I do intend to do a Valentine's Day stream, but it is up to you, my friend. Um, Captain Redneck says, I was just about to ask who Dibs is. Dibs says, I'm me, lol, yes. Don't ask, don't tell, says Bird of Prey. Dibs says, sing it next time Anti is on your stream. Got it, John. I see. You want maximum blackmail potential. Understood. What time is it? 8:38. So yes, let's tell a story. I don't know. A few of my first date stories. I started dating late. To be blunt. Yeah, there were some girls in college. One I tried to get with, and she said no every time. Another one I tried, and it took years and years, well after college, but finally got through. But for the most part, my dating career, life, whatever, didn't really start till my mid-20s. I'm gonna be honest. Young me was busy with school, and then busy with work. I mean, yeah, there were attractive women all over, but actual dating, no. I ended up on Match.com. My very first online date, I just decided, I basically went with no standards. The very first girl that wanted to meet, I met with. The same night we ended up back at my house. I didn't know, I wasn't expecting her to want to do anything, but I was dense. It took me a while to realize, what women, that if women were unmatched, they probably wanted it as much as I did. It literally took me, we kissed, and I put my hand on her cheek, and then she sucked on my finger. And that's when I knew. It took it to that point that I knew, she doesn't mind. She doesn't mind going all the way on the first date. That's how long it took. After that, it kind of changed, because I kind of, that was like hitting me over the head with a hammer, like, hey, idiot, women want these things too. We dated for like a month. It was the only time I ever broke up with somebody where I was the one who broke up. I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of a rebound for her, and she was just kind of like the start to the online dating world for me. And then over the years, I went from Match to eHarmony. There were some notable dates. One that I remember, I forget her name, but she was, no, I am, I'm 6'4". So I'm a pretty tall, pretty big guy. This particular woman, she was like 6 foot to 6'2", somewhere around there. She was a professional volleyball player, and she was cute. And we went on a date to Chili's. We had laughs because we're like, we both wanted to order something that wasn't going to be too disgusting, something that we could eat in front of each other without being embarrassed and haha, okay. But then I said, I asked her if she watched The Simpsons. Now this was like 2007, 2006, maybe even 2005. I forget the year, but a ways ago. So I asked, do you watch The Simpsons? And her response was, no, I don't watch Saturday morning cartoons. I politely finished the dinner. We said we'd talk again. Never called her again. Yes, in those days we were still calling. We weren't texting yet. Never called her again. You do not call The Simpsons Saturday morning cartoons. I'm sorry. You can say you're not a fan. You could say, no, I never watched it. I mean, you could say those things. I wouldn't be happy, but I'd understand. Yeah, you're going to call it a Saturday morning cartoon. You're going to be like a little bit insulting. Screw you, okay? And I know, listen, if she found a guy that was taller than her and they live happily ever after, hating The Simpsons together, good for them. But screw you, right? Okay, there's not a hell of a lot of guys taller than you. Okay, I know. I mean, if she wanted a guy taller than her, and I know a lot of women do, for whatever reason, but a lot of women want a guy that's taller than them. She did not have a hell of a lot of choices. And saying The Simpsons was a Saturday morning cartoon, bad move. Bad move. On the other hand, I also made some terrible mistakes. Well, it was a girl I ended up dating for 3 months, which was honestly my longest legit relationship ever, technically. I had like friends with benefits relationships that went longer, but actual boyfriend, girlfriend, only 3 months. And it started out, I was in the city. I was in Manhattan for work. So our first date was at a restaurant near where I was working, near the Palace Hotel. And the night, it was the second night. We were there for like 4 nights for work. The first night, we all went out at work. We all went to a restaurant nearby. And it was a very nice restaurant. And it was close by to the hotel. And all was good. So it was like, oh, great. Okay. So the next day, she worked nearby. She worked near Grand Central Station. So she wasn't terribly far. So we said, good, we'd meet in the city to eat. And I picked the place. So I said, you know what? I'll pick that same restaurant I just went to the night before. Because let's face it, it's the city. The only place I know that my coworkers aren't going to go is back to the same restaurant they were at the night before. Because who would do that, right? So we went to that restaurant. Date was going well. And who walks in but like 15 of my coworkers. And they were already drunk. Literally, one of them would come over and just sit with us and start talking. And says, oh, you're on a date, huh? And then they would say, he's a great guy, blah, 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 blah. And they would say all this stuff, which honestly, I mean, they were drunk off their asses. And this was including an executive vice president of the company. he told people not to do it, then he came over and did it himself. Anyway, so all these people gave testimonials on my behalf. I was embarrassed as hell. And I still don't understand why they ended up in the same restaurant 2 nights in a row. But, it went 3 months. It seemed to work out. And then one of the last dates I went on before I got sick, first date, was a woman who actually lived here in Bayside, not far. And we went to a place that's now closed, but went into the restaurant, and it was near empty. And I texted her. I said, "I'm parking now." And in my defense, she wrote back, "I'll be there in a few minutes." Now, I got a great parking space, so there is no way she beat me to the restaurant. I was basically just across the street. So fine. I go in. Now, understand, in my mind, she said she would be there in a few minutes. And understand, I already came early because I'm one of those people, if you tell me 8 o'clock, I'm there at 7:50. So it was like 7:50, 7:55. I'm there. I believe I'm first. I go into the restaurant. It's empty, except there's one woman at a table. And I walk past her. I tell the guy, "Oh, I'm meeting a table for 2." And she looks at me, and I kind of just look, and I sit down, and looking at my phone, and like I'm waiting, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, but we don't like say anything. And then she's like, "Are you Joe?" I was like, "Yeah." What's her name? She says, "Yes." Now, we had each other's picture. Clearly, I was me. I'm not going to say she didn't look like her picture, but, I mean, the picture she put up was kind of more professional looking, I don't know, and I guess she was more dressed up, date looking, so it wasn't 100%, but I guess I should have known. So of course we started out on the on the fact that I didn't even recognize her, and I was literally sitting at the table next to her for, it was more than a minute. It was like 5+ minutes, maybe 10, before we finally realized, and I knew she must have known that it was me. I wasn't sure it was her before I realized that, yes, we were actually, the 2 people we were here to meet was each other, and I moved over to her table. And I guess the restaurant felt like they went from having 2 customers to, well, what would have been 4 customers to 2 customers. But yeah, it never fully recovered after that. Even playing Pac-Man in my car. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was a bit depressing. Did not go well. So yeah, those are some of my stories, sanitized for YouTube. John says, "Maximum blackmail indeed." Resolute says, "I'm too sober to hear birds sing The Cure." Yeah, well. Captain Redneck asks, "Is it payback for lore singing?" Vixen says, "Yay, story time." Dib says, sing the South Park song, Kyle's mom. I'll see. If I can sing it without cursing too much. Vixen starts the popcorn. Captain Redneck, did I say popcorn? I meant boobs. Vixen says, bo chicka wow wow. Okay. Captain Redneck says, damn thing froze up on me. I missed story time. Captain Redneck says, 6'4", me too. Hey brother from a brother. Yeah, 6'4", surprisingly, at least when I could stand. John says, I love a good conquest story. Dib says, I met Jesse on Plenty of Fish. It was good then, but now I'm not so sure. I was catfished one time. That was not fun. Oh, Jason. Dibs. Yeah, don't. His name is Dibs, not Jason. Don't. Sorry to hear about the catfish story. Funny that never came up at Christmas or something. Vixen says to Dibs, yikes. Captain Redneck says, my first girlfriend was in the 8th grade. She didn't put out. Captain, not that I wasn't attracted to women. I bought a ring for a girl in 1st grade. I liked her. So yes, as far back as I could remember, yes, there were always girls I liked, but actual dating was quite late. Captain Redneck, right, I said that. Okay. Jod says, damn bird, you're cold as ice. Listen, there's some things, but it would be as bad as saying going down. Imagine going on a date with somebody and you're like, are you a Star Trek fan? Yes. And she's like, don't you just love Michael Burnham? Isn't she the bestest? I mean, what would you do? Like, if honestly, just saying The Simpsons were Saturday morning cartoons, I finished dinner. I paid for her dinner because I am a gentleman and whatnot, and we finished. But my God, if I was dating today and a girl said, oh, I love Star Trek Discovery, Michael Burnham is the bestest ever. Isn't he so much better than Captain Picard or Captain Kirk? I might have to slap her. I would go to prison for domestic abuse. Right? Where is the justice in that, people? They would punish me for hitting a Star Trek Discovery fan. I would need you people on the jury. Right? If we had one real Star Trek fan on the jury, I'd get off. But they would do. The media would come out. They'd say, this man hit this poor, defenseless woman. They would never bring up the fact that she was an STD carrier of some sort. That she makes the world more dangerous for being in it. This would never come up. All they would focus on was the fact that I smacked her across the face. It was an act of mercy. I was trying to knock sense into her. Clearly, she had some type of invisible brain slug that was sucking the intellectual capacity from her brain, and I was simply trying to free it. I would think that a sudden jolt to the head might cause this invisible brain slug to fall off and fall back into its dimension, back to the Cthulhu dimension. But no, I would get in trouble. And that is You can't date anymore. I would be afraid to date. I would be afraid to date in today's world. She'd go, me too, me too. And I'm like, no, no, me too. Right? Not my Klingons. Anyway. Captain Redneck. Vixen says to Captain Redneck, I hope you were also in the 8th grade. He didn't say that, Vixen. He just said his girlfriend was in the 8th grade. Captain Redneck says, lol, I ain't saying. Yeah, better not say, Captain. Resolute Germ says he can't answer Vixen court order. Vixen says she's calling the cyber police. And Captain Redneck says, I was in 6th grade, so go ahead. But you were 18 when you were in the 6th grade, weren't you, Captain? He said he was born this way. Oh, boy. Vixen says, nah, you're good, Redneck. Captain Redneck says, gotta roll, see y'all. Wow, he was out of here pretty fast. Pretty fast after you asked that question, Vixen. Vixen says, nighty-night, Redneck. Resolute Germ says, never trust the professional-looking picture. She was pretty, don't get me wrong. She was probably the prettiest woman I had dated to that point. To be fair, I mean, by far not the one I cared about the most, because we just weren't together all that long. But just flat down on looks, yeah, she was probably the prettiest. I really surprised, I felt completely out of her league. But whatever, I wasn't going to complain. Vixen said, so I should just send a crappy looking picture to men? Well, to be quite honest, yes. Send the crappiest looking picture you can, because if the guy still wants to talk to you, then he will be most pleasantly surprised. And if he doesn't want to talk to you over a crappy looking picture, he probably wasn't worth talking to in the first place. Whereas if you send your bestest picture ever taken, and then for some reason the lighting is bad or whatever, the night you meet for the first time, no matter how gentlemanly he will be, he will probably feel a bit of disappointment. All honesty there. Yes, I did not put my best pictures on my dating profile. I probably should have, but no. By that logic, I knew that if I put my best pictures on my dating profile, I would literally not be able to live up to them. If I put my worst pictures, nobody would ever respond. So I put some mix of pictures. And I figured this way, if people respond, then they'll be generally okay, because there'll be no real surprises with how I look. I mean, that's... I mean, when you're internet dating or blind dating, let's face it, the biggest fear you have is the other person will take one look at you and walk out and leave. Or like, ew, no, goodbye. So, you get that out of the way. You send them a picture that you will probably look at least as good at, if not better, when you first meet them. And then, it's all positive from there. Playing Pac-Man, yes, Vixen. I had this is when I had my QX56 by Infinity. It had a front entertainment system, which had a video and audio input jack, and I had one of those Atari systems that were all in the joystick and battery powered, so I would take it out of my center console and plug it in, and like we'd sit in the car and play Pac-Man for a while. I mean, the car was beautiful, luxurious leather interior, big, very, very the fanciest car, truck really I ever had. So it was kind of like a date in itself. So yeah, we'd play Pac-Man for a while, and do other things until we got further along in the relationship. But yeah. Resolute Germ, send selfie, Vixen. The pro pics are suspicious. Yeah, good. But don't send a selfie from the bathroom mirror. Good God. Why do so many women take pictures of themselves in the bathroom mirror, and there is a garbage can with like a roll of toilet paper hanging over the edge. Nobody's cleaned the garbage. There's shit, not literal, but garbage junk all over the bathroom. Like, no. Don't find another mirror in your house, or just aim the camera at you. Do not take a selfie in the bathroom mirror for any reason. Thomas Potts says, good story, but no quotes I can use. I'm sorry, Thomas. Vixen says, okay, lol. Wait, Vixen, you shouldn't be sending out any. You shouldn't be dating at all. We're going to date. Thomas says, we should look for cheap dog therapists for Anti-Tracker's dog. It must be traumatized spending weeks with lore. Thomas Bot says, so that's what a date is. Yeah, Thomas. Apparently. John says, I think Sonequa is hot as hell, but I hate STD. John, I keep forgetting her name is Sonequa, and in my head, I keep calling her Sequoia. I know, it's not racist. It's just that, people compare her to wood, and a sequoia is a very straight, tall tree. So, Sequoia Martin Green, but Shaniqua, I personally do not find her attractive at all. But I liked her on The Walking Dead for the seasons that I used to watch The Walking Dead. I don't have anything against her personally. It's her character I have a problem with. Although I also don't like the things she said on Twitter. So I guess I do have other problems with her personally, but they're not as big as my issues with her character on Discovery. Vixen says, well, Pecker Spock is hot because I hate STD. Vixen says, not guilty. Not guilty if I slapped her around. Thank you, Vixen. Richie Poole, welcome, Richie. Hello, everyone. Vixen says hello to Richie. Resolute Germ, a crime you'd be doing a public service. Exactly. Definitely it would have been a public service. Hi, Vixen. Vixen says, Bird, you would earn a medal for that in my book. And Vixen says, pound me too, free Harvey. Yes. Vixen says, I'll never get a date. Yes, you will, Vixen. If you're looking for one, I'm sure you will. John says, add DTF to your profile. If you see 437737, it means they have the herp. Really? Oh, I never saw that, luckily. Vixen, unless you are screaming blue hair SJW, that's not possible. I agree. Really? Okay, I trust you guys. Yeah, Vixen, I'm sure you'd find. Now, I don't know what the population of men in Vermont is, but I'm sure you could find a date if you wanted to, if you needed to. Some people prefer being alone a bit. I'll be right back, guys. It's that time. Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear. And the Southern girls with the way they talk, they knock me out when I'm down there. The Midwest farmers' daughters really make you feel all right. And the Northern girls with the way they kiss, they keep their boyfriends warm at night. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California girls. The West Coast has the sunshine and the girls all get so tan. I dig a French bikini on a wild island all by a palm tree in the sand. I've been all around this great big world and I see all kinds of girls. Yeah, but I can't wait to get back in the States, back to the cutest girls in the world. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California. I wish they all could be California girls. Don't worry. I guess I should have fixed that before I came back onto camera. Thomas Potts says, I hate selfies. I hate any photo of me. Well, that's not nice. Good, Thomas. Resolute Germ says, people who do mirror selfies don't know how to use the front-facing camera. Vixen says, I never take selfies. I just sometimes let friends take pictures of me. Well, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. Thomas Potts says, yes, Resolute. Vixen says, isn't that a car too? Well, it's a car, it's a truck, it's an SUV, really. It's big. A lot of headroom, even for someone 6'4". Vixen says, I'm not pretty enough? Who said that, Vixen? Richie Poole says, hi, Bird. How the hell are ya? Doing good, Richie. How are you? Thomas says, Vermont is full of SJWs. Vixen says, true, not me, though. John says, Vixen better step up her game up than cause they let the men be women now. And men are way more competitive. Yeah, when women have to compete against men to get men, it's going to be a bad day for women and men. Resolute Germ says, Vixen, you like sci-fi, so it doesn't matter what you look like. That's more or less true. There was this other girl. I can't believe I forgot about her. Um, she put up on her profile. She was in full Star Wars cosplay. She was dressed as Princess Leia. She was dressed as a stormtrooper. She was dressed as some other characters. Everything in her profile was, "I love Star Wars. I'm the biggest Star Wars fan." Blah blah blah. Star Wars this, Star Wars that. No, I was not the biggest Star Wars fan. I enjoyed Star Wars. Had she said Star Trek instead of Star Wars, I would have fought harder. But I put in. This was on eHarmony. So eHarmony sends you a batch of matches each day or each week. I forget how it goes. So you only have like a handful of matches to choose from on any given day. It's not like Match, where there's literally hundreds or thousands of people. So she was one, and so I decided to send an initial communication, and she sent back one, but we never got past like the second step. She said she was like wasn't into me, I guess. I guess I wasn't enough Star Wars for her. But yeah, I mean, that one was a crazy one. I would have liked to meet her in person. I really would have. Just, I don't know if it was a joke that she was so into Star Wars and she made it such a part of her profile or what. Because I would have liked to see that. Oh, then there was the date where it was a woman who went to the same church as two other women I knew, their sisters, and I knew where she said she was living was right near these other two, and she said that, I don't forget, that she went to church or something that day or that week. I mean, it wasn't like I was on Christian dating site, but whatever. But the church, she said, was the church that I knew these other two worked at. So I said, "Oh, do you know, so and so?" And like immediately her face got depressed looking. She's like, "You know so and so?" I was like, "Yeah, we're good friends. I've known them for, I don't know, 10 years or something." She's like, "Oh, yeah, I know them." And then like we were at Cheesecake Factory, which I found delicious, but she got very depressed after that. I could tell I asked the wrong question, which, to be completely honest, was just as well, because in person I could tell this was a situation where it wasn't going to go anywhere. There wasn't really a connection. I was trying to make one on maybe we had a friend in common, but no. And then, sure enough, when I asked them about it, they said, "You went on a date with so-and-so?" And they just were hysterical laughing between the two of them. I said, what happened? Why are you laughing? She was like, no, we don't want to say anything. You should, we don't want to get involved. Just, they never told me what happened. I should ask again. But at the time, I kind of respected. They didn't want to get in the middle of it. But we never spoke again, me and that girl. And I don't know what. I guess she knew that they weren't going to give a glowing review of her when I would ask them about her. And I don't know. I guess she just knew that it wasn't meant to be at that point. But never so fast did I see a face of smiles and hope turn to sadness. over like saying, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I felt bad a little, but God knows what saved me from. And then, I don't know, a couple months later, um, I'm at work checking my latest batch of matches, and who comes up? One of those two sisters who happened to be working in the same office as me. She came up in my batches that morning, which means I knew I came up in her batches that morning too. So we went over, we laughed, and we did not talk about it again. Viva, excuse me. Vixen says, really, Germ? Sweet. Missed what it was. Resolute Germ says, every nerd would kill to get to you. Oh, they would. They would totally fight hand-to-hand combat like Kirk and Spock. There'd be only one way to win. That would totally happen. Richie Poole, excuse me, says, I don't know about that. The girls in Vermont are pretty hot. I think so. Vixen says, me, I said that. Vixen says, half the men here are gay or gender fluid or whatever. Vixen, that is just a problem, a growing problem, because of all the hormones and the meats and the soy and all that stuff. Richie Poole says, the real men are out there, out west, Vixen. Some of us are still in the east. We'd be out west if we could get there. Vixen says, are you saying Bird isn't a real man, Richie? Oh, you're in trouble. It's okay. Well, also, they're not too far west, Richie, because San Francisco is about the most western spot you can get on the continental United States. And they are not known for their real men. Richie says, Bird may not live out here, but his heart lives out here. Absolutely true, Richie. Absolutely true. My heart is of Sedona. The Cisco was of Bajor, and I am of Sedona, whether I live there or not. Vixen says, okay, lol, yeah, you saved yourself, Richie. You saved yourself. Vixen says, take me to the Cheesecake Factory. I would love to, Vixen. Nothing would make me happier than to take you to Cheesecake Factory and order a Da Vinci pasta, and I would just enjoy the company and the pasta. And maybe some cheesecake. Richie Poole says, we have Cheesecake Factory out here. They make a mean chicken piccata. Vixen says, what's a piccata? Vixen then says, Viva Las Vegas. Yes, Las Vegas is also another place I am of. I could see living in Vegas. I don't know, Vixen, but it tastes great. Alexa, what's a piccata?
The adjective piccata is usually defined as cooked, served, or sauced with lemon and parsley.
So cooked with lemon or served with lemon and parsley. Thomas says, would you download a few buildings from my hometown on Skylines? You can make a small plaza area and name it after me. Sure, Thomas. If you can send me a link to a few of your hometown buildings on Discord or on the forum, I'll go ahead. I'll download some of the buildings. I don't know how many I can. I've got a ton of extra buildings already, but I certainly have room for a few more. But like, it's already loading 20 gigs of assets when I start the game. John says, Bird, whereabouts do you live? John, I am in Bayside, Queens, New York. Technically part of New York City, but about as far from Manhattan Island as you can get while remaining in the city. Northeastern Queens, not far from the border with Long Island. Thomas Potts says, Da Vinci Pasta, does that have hidden secrets in it about Jesus? I can't tell you that, Thomas. Vixen says he's in New York City. Well, that's one way to put it. Richie Poole says Sedona, so very beautiful. Thomas, I was actually on the workshop, City Skylines, and I found a Sedona map theme. Not a map, but a map theme. So it actually brings Sedona colors to the map. I definitely recommend it. It's really more of a desert map. There are a few maps created for it specifically. But if you get a chance, look up the Sedona. Just put Sedona into the workshop and see what they have. Because, yeah, that's interesting. I wish I knew it before I started this last city. The buildings are called PPG Place. There are 3. John says, I'm from Syracuse? Resolute Germ says, so you're the best part of New York City. Basically, yes. Unfortunately, New York City is in a bit of a downturn these last, 6 years or so. But still fairly good here, knocking wood. It was better. I'm going to be honest, it was better when I moved in 2005, but not bad. PPG Place. Let me copy that. And there's half a shot. I will remember what it is, but we'll see. Yes, sir. CNY. Well, I'll be honest, John, I never heard it abbreviated CUSE before, but I like it. De Blasio is doing a fantastic job. Yes, the poop eye emoji. Is there a good NYC for Skylines? Thomas, you know what? I never looked because I don't care. I can see the New York City skyline plenty. Like this picture from my sister. I'm interested in other city skylines, especially ones with mountains and things I can't see and haven't seen my entire life. Vixen is, what is Queens like? More suburb than the city? Well, it varies. Queens is the biggest of the 5 boroughs in area. Of course, there's Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, the Bronx, and Manhattan. I believe in that order of size. And biggest to smallest. And Queens is pretty much by far the biggest. It goes all the way to the East River, where it's literally just, I don't know, a few hundred yards from Manhattan at one point. And there are areas like Long Island City and Astoria um, that might as well be Manhattan. You wouldn't really know the difference if you were walking through it. Um, and then other places, especially as you get further away from the city, that get a little bit more suburban. But then there's buildings in the middle of Queens. There's industrial areas. There's the Mets play. There's City Field. There's um, Flushing Meadows. Um, and then way out towards the end, near Long Island, is Bayside. We're on the northern part. We're on Long Island Sound. Um, yeah, so here it's suburban. Mostly 1 and 2 family homes. Um, but, I mean, it's suburban for New York City. It is not suburban for anywhere else. I mean, if you look out my kitchen window, my neighbor's house is maybe 6, 8 feet away at tops, where the houses are that close together. But hey, that is a lot more space than people in an apartment get. Mom is telling me it's actually 10 feet. It looks less, but okay, 10 feet apart. It looks a lot less because figure that's 5 feet on your side of the fence, 5 feet on their side of the fence. Not even enough for me to lay down, technically. So yeah. But I could not imagine living in a more packed place. I did have an apartment for a couple of years, more than a couple, maybe 3 years, 4 years, when I first started working. And it was nice, but that it was just me. And, it got tiring when the elevator would break and I'd have to walk up 6 flights of stairs. Technically 7 because you came in the basement. That didn't get fun. The fun of living in an apartment ended pretty quickly. Though it was a lot easier to keep clean. Resolute Germ says it was better before Bloomberg. Agree. Rudy Giuliani, 180-degree turnaround of the city. Under Bloomberg's first term, it was right after 9/11. He more or less kept the same policies in place as Giuliani. So even for the first 4 years of Bloomberg, it wasn't bad. Things were pretty good. In Bloomberg's second term, he started to make changes, and but we were on such a strong heading from the previous 12 years that really those first 4 years of Bloomberg messing with things didn't cause any immediate issues. And then Bloomberg, through incredible amount of city corruption and money, somehow ran for a third term, despite the fact that a law put in limited the mayor to 2 terms, and that's why Rudy Giuliani couldn't run for a third term. And Rudy Giuliani initially backed Bloomberg because he was running as a Republican. And then he went independent, and now he's basically a Democrat. And, yeah. So Bloomberg couldn't ran for a third term. And that's when shit started to hit the fan, because he was getting more and more liberal policies. Which, okay, is one thing, but at the price of security and safety, not the greatest idea. And then, of course, Bloomberg can't run beyond a third term. He bought the third term somehow, but there was no way to buy a fourth. So he ended up with de Blasio. And it has been like a roller coaster heading down. Hopefully, we bottom out before things get too bad. I don't know. I don't know if we will. Vixen says, no excuse. Richie says, I had to drop a few minutes to change devices. What did I miss? I don't know, Richie. When did you leave? When did you come back? Vixen says, I only see Manhattan, usually on TV. John says, you near New York Sci? I was there on business last year. New York Sci? SCI? I don't know what that is. Thomas Potts says, what is Brooklyn considered? Brooklyn is also a borough of New York City. It's technically Kings County. It's, in that respect, very similar to Queens, Staten Island, and the Bronx. It is a so-called outer borough. And much like Queens, it has some parts that are virtually identical to Manhattan in terms of building density, and towards the further suburbs, particularly like South Brooklyn, you get one-family homes. In fact, I grew up in Canarsie, which was generally a one single-family and two-family home neighborhood, and then it had section where it was like townhouses that were all connected, but much less dense than other parts of Brooklyn or Manhattan. So, yeah. Vixen says, Long Island guys have accents. All New York has accents. Richie says, I flew over Manhattan once in the middle of the night on my way to London. That must have been beautiful. I remember flying back a number of times from various places. Nighttime landings in New York City. Always beautiful. Why don't people from Queens refer to where they live as Long Island? Because if you're from Brooklyn or Queens, you are closer identified to the politics of New York City. So you would usually say, I'm from Brooklyn, or I'm from Queens, or I'm from New York City. To us, Long Island are the two counties that are east of us, which are Nassau and Suffolk counties. Although the island that we reside on is called Long Island, we call Long Island Nassau and Suffolk County. Vixen says, I haven't been to New York City since I was a kid, and then that was only museums and the Bronx Zoo. Richie asks if that was good memories, Vixen. Thomas says, I can't see out your window. Can you open the curtains? Vixen says, it was beautiful, but I get nervous around huge crowds of people. Yeah, probably not the best place, Vixen. Vixen says, oh, and I went to Chinatown, one of my classes in high school. Dale Stafford said Giuliani would have rocked as president. I think he would have. I think he would have. But at the time, the country would not have voted in a New Yorker. And who would have thought, after 8 years of Obama, that they would change their mind and vote in a New Yorker? Huh?
New York side is the Polish side.
Oh, the Hall of Science.
Yes.
Yes, okay. I've been to the Hall of Science as a kid mostly. It's not terribly far away. Vixen says, was it nice? Richie said, I've been to Chinatown in San Francisco. I think I was too. Vixen says, was it nice? Seemed like any other Chinatown to me. Dale says, it's been to KC's Chinatown. Great food. Richie Pole says, very. I love San Francisco. I think I left part of my heart there. There's a song like that, Richie, if I'm not mistaken. I will respectfully disagree. The few times I've been to San Francisco, it was easily my least favorite American city. But, we all have different opinions on things. John says, New York Science is the New York Hall of Science. It's near Met Stadium and where the World's Fair was. Yes, thank you, John. We came to that conclusion. Mom looked it up. Yes, the Hall of Science I have been to. I was in school, I think, last time I was there. It's mostly for kids, or at least it used to be. Vixen says to me, you don't have much of an accent at all. Well, not a Long Island accent. Vixen says Long Island iced tea. Captain Redneck says, Misa back. Welcome back, Captain Redneck. I think we're getting just about ready to call it a night here. But good to see you back. Captain Redneck says Beatles song, but San Fran sucks ass. I hope never to have to go there again. Yep, Captain Redneck, I would agree with that sentiment. Thomas Potts said, did you go to that museum where the exhibits come to life? You mean the Natural History Museum, as in that documentary with what's his face in it? Robin Williams as Grant. Teddy Roosevelt. Night at the Museum. Yes, I've been there a few times, even as an adult. It is a pretty cool place. Time After Time was set in San Francisco. I don't recall ever seeing that, if that was a movie or a TV show. Not something that was on my list. I know Full House was set in San Francisco. And for some reason, Starfleet is based in San Francisco. Their only redeeming quality of San Francisco, and it won't be built for another 200 years. Thomas Potts says NYC is a dangerous place. It's always getting destroyed in movies. Yep. Dale says Time After Time was a good Cyndi Lauper song, though. Richie Poole says Malcolm McDowell and H.G. Wells. Okay. Well, guys, 9:42. I think we're gonna call it a night. Thank you guys so much for coming. Please, oh wow, 15. We have a good crowd. Please, if you don't mind, hit that like button. Press, click, drag and drop, whatever you got to do. It'd be most appreciated. You know, if you haven't yet and you're interested, you like the video, you like the stream, subscribe. Vixen, I will see you on Valentine's Day on chat, but hopefully before then. Good night all. Good night, Captain Redneck. John says hump that like button into submission. Oh boy. Alex Brooks says good night, Bird. Got great hanging out with you. Good night. Dale says thanks, Bird. And Vixen is laughing and smiling. Qapla. And then I have to hit this. Oh, John says sing Vixen the love song on V-Day. We'll see. We'll see. I humped the like button. It's dirty now, says Captain Redneck. Oh boy. Oh boy. Vixen says he will serenade me. I don't know if you would consider it serenading, Vixen, but if you want me to try, I will. Richie says, just you, Vixen? You lucky dog, you. Don't say she's lucky just yet. If you haven't heard me sing, you wouldn't know. Dale says, I got Star Trek STD from the like button. Yeah, you should have waited. Should have did it before Captain Redneck hit it. Now you're all going to get Star Trek STD from it. Vixen says, yes, please. And then Captain Redneck is laughing. Okay, guys. Good night. Thank you again for making this a fun night. I wish Anti-Tracker could get to his streams back. Hopefully they get done there sooner than later. Qapla again. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. If you want to visit me, check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. And if you're really crazy, you can send me some money on PayPal. Take care.